my little small fan base know who you are, and I guess we could tell them how we met in Inkster High like fucking 10 years ago.
Wow, it's been like that's crazy. I can't even believe it's really almost been 10 years. It's sick as hell.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Jasmin Wilson. I'm a mortgage broker in Detroit, Michigan. I met Terry in the 11th grade.
Yeah, whenever you
'cause I got
transferred to the high from that lame ass school you started at.
Oh my God. Yeah. I went to Easter in the 11th grade. So
Yeah.
shit, we was always cool. I was quiet for real. I stayed to myself, honestly. Like, but I ain't had no problem with nobody. I was cool with everybody, so that pretty much sums up my story.
No, we had a couple classes. We used to talk shit. Everybody ain't know you used to be in there talking shit, but I knew you was in there talking shit about people.
I'm screaming.
So how you get into banking? That's where you started at, right? Like you was just doing regular like banker teller type shit, or?
So I came across banking crazy. Like I've never actually worked in an actual bank. So like being a bank teller, having to be a personal banker, any of that, I never actually did that. The way I came across banking was real random. Literally my mom, she was like, Quicken Loans is having a job fair. You should go. So I'm like, all right, I guess. So I went. And when I went, it was all these different lines. Like there were so many different areas that you can choose to work for or whatever. And I at first initially I had just went to like the customer service area. Like I just wanted to just answer phones, do customer service. I didn't want to do no serious anything. Like
Yeah.
So I seen all these people in line for like the customer service part or whatever, and I'm like, damn, like I'm probably not gonna get the job. All these people over here, I probably should go somewhere else. Yeah. So I actually walked up to this guy. He was standing there by himself. He was just standing there. He looked cool. Like he just looked cool. I don't know how to explain him. He was just like cool. Yeah. And I walked up to him. I'm like, what is this? And he was like, well, yeah, I'm a mortgage banker. Like, I write home loans. At the time, I'm like, I don't even know what the hell a mortgage is. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, sign me up. I want to do that. Yeah. So I got into it. My first day, I was mortified. I said, oh shit, this is like real life. Like, this is a big deal. I didn't know how big of a deal it was until I actually start doing it. I'm like, it's tests I gotta pass. I gotta know all these laws. Like, oh, this is serious. Like, this is some serious shit. But I did it. And that's really how it was random. It was just, it fell into my lap out the blue. Like, I just loved it ever since.
So like when you first started, so like did you already know about like what was the test about? Did you already know about anything dealing with banking or anything?
I knew nothing. I knew nothing. Like literally, you could have blindfolded me, and shit, it would have been like if my eyes was open because I still knew nothing. It didn't make a difference. Like I knew absolutely nothing. Yeah. When I got in there, they told me like, you know, this is for banking, it's for mortgage loans and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay. At the time, I'm not even knowing what a mortgage is. I barely know how to spell the shit. Don't even know it's a T in the word mortgage. So I'm like, damn, okay, like shit, this shit is real. So I had to go through like all these tests. There was like 12 million tests. I had to pass a safe test, so it's a federal exam that they make you study for. I did not pass it on the first time. I had to have a 75%. I got a 73%. And I sat in the parking lot and cried. And all the people that I took the test with was like, we passed. And I was just sitting there fucking bawling. Like, so I had to take it again. And I did pass it the second time. But it was hard. It was not easy. It's hard for sure.
And then when did you like transition into like where you knew like, okay, I'm figuring this out. Like I actually like it. I'm enjoying it.
It took me probably about a year. Like I cried. I don't think nobody understands. I'm a big crybaby. Like I'm
Big
very
cap.
strong, but I cry. Oh, I'm not the type to. I'm not gonna hold my tears in. I'm gonna fucking cry. Like that's gonna happen. So it took me probably like a good year of me just crying a lot and trying to
Yeah.
figure this shit out. Like the one thing I would say about the banking industry, it's a male dominated field.
Mm-hmm.
So tons of you're in competition with men. You're competing with men all day. I've been on teams where I've been the only girl and I'm working 14, 15-hour days and I'm the only girl and like nobody understands where the fuck I'm coming from, which
Mm-hmm.
can be overwhelming, but at the same time it's rewarding because it's like I feel like in a way women have more to prove in banking, and that's what I love about banking so much because even though it is super competitive, I am a very competitive person. Even though I cry a whole lot, I still am very competitive.
Yeah.
So it took me like a good year to really learn everything that I and you learn every day. In the mortgage industry, things change like this. Like it can be one way one day and completely different the next. So a solid year of just getting used to change. Like change was the constant. I just had to get used to never getting too comfortable. And then I fell in love with it. I was like, yeah, I could do this forever. Like I love it. And
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever do anything else, honestly.
So let's talk about that real quick. When you say it's like male dominant, I feel like a lot of males don't think of it that way. Me being in the military, I see it like with female leadership. Anytime I try to like express my ideas on what they just said, they feel like I'm challenging them versus I'm just trying to figure it out. Like you females have an abstract mind, well, most or some, whatever. Some got an abstract mind. I'm like real basic. Like if you ain't clear cut, I don't fucking understand.
Logical, analytical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like maybe we could just talk about that real quick. Like, what do you feel like is like the biggest thing that you see from males when a female might be in charge or a female's on the team?
Actually, to kind of like to answer your question, but to flip it, really is women that need to women are emotional by nature. That's just how we are. And the one thing that I've learned working with males is learning how to check my emotions at the door. I'm a lot more logical and a lot more analytical than like in the average female. And I've learned that from just working with all males. So every decision I make can't be based off of my first reaction or instant emotion. I really have to take the time to dissect the situation, figure out what it is or how I can communicate effectively what I need to happen or what needs to be done versus, sometime coming off more so emotional. So that emotional intelligence piece is huge when you're working with males because guys are very one-track mind. So
for real.
this is what it is and that's that. Yeah, like you're not thinking about 20 different outcomes. This is what it is, that's that, go on to the next thing. So one thing that I like, if I had to give like any type of advice or anything to women dealing with males, just learn how to check more of your emotion at the door because not everything, don't make everything personal. That's really the biggest thing. Stop making everything personal. Nobody is always making a decision based off of how they feel about you personally. Like you have to check that, get that emotion in line because it's not always the case. So that's what I would say. Like, I don't think men are men. I'm not gonna say men can't change. You could definitely become more understanding when it comes to how to interact with female or women and things like that. But honestly, from a lot of women leadership, I'm not even gonna lie. I prefer working with men. Even with my experiences that I've had with women in leadership, it never goes that great.
Yeah, it's definitely harder. Like what I do here at work, like I had my first division of recruits, and it was like 80 females, you know, trying to be a team and like do, you know, Navy stuff, and I'm trying to teach it to them, and they catching attitudes with me, and I could yell at them, make them do push-ups, but I'm like, I don't got time for this. Like, I'm
Right.
like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what they want me to do. It's 80
Right.
women in here. I can't do this. Right? Like, I'm not
Any
built for this.
women.
But I feel like I definitely I got a better understanding of like women and like all the emotions. Like, it's something that it's hard for them to control. And when you're dealing with men all the time and you try to deal with women, you cannot do it the same way. It's not gonna work out in your favor. So
Mm-mm.
I'm the type, just let them have it. Like, all right, they mad, whatever, just let them have it. Like, I don't care anymore. But
Yeah.
let's go to the change part. Like with the banking industry, like I know with like these mortgage rates, they go up and down. Is that like the biggest change, or like what other changes like do you see that the average person wouldn't see behind the scenes?
A lot of regulation, a lot of
Okay.
laws that change. Um, because the mortgage industry really was like the wild wild west. You used to be able to do whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
For real, like whatever floats your boat, you throw it at the wall, it stick, you're good. But it's not like that anymore. So one of the biggest challenges is trying to get clients to realize that, like, hey, I can't just be in here doing anything to get you
Yeah.
a home loan, or different things like that. So I would say that definitely rates change 24/7. You have to know your market at the time. You have to know how to sell,
Mhm.
because it really takes some creativity. If I'm talking
Mhm.
to somebody that already has a 3.5%, but I'm trying to convince you that refinance to make the most sense, but I'm refinance you at 4.25, I have to make it
Ooh-wee.
beneficial for you in some way. It has to meet some type of net tangible benefit. So
Mhm.
definitely being creative, trying to teach people how to leverage their equity. People think because they own a house and they just sit on the house, they shouldn't use or leverage any equity or get home loans out and things like that. And to be quite honest with you, that's the most backwards thought that I have ever seen in my life. Because if you have a home and you have equity, you don't even have to have, I'm not saying you have to completely just take all the equity out of the home, but if you have a property that you own cash, free and clear, and you have the opportunity to draw equity from it, draw equity from that, use that money to either purchase other properties or invest in investments. Put it
Mhm.
in an account, put it in money market, do something. Don't just have it
Mhm.
sitting there. Because a lot of times what you see is people end up property rich and cash poor.
Yeah,
You don't
for
have no
real.
cash on hand. That's not, you're going about it the wrong way. Like you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do
Yeah.
it.
So
So
like you could do
go
like a
ahead.
cash out refinance, right? Where if I had all this equity in the crib, I can refinance it and y'all will give me the money, right? I could just get it in cash.
Yep, you can get it in cash. So say for example, if you have a home that's worth $100,000 and it's free and clear, you can get probably up to around, I would say, between 70-75,000 out of it.
Mhm.
Depending on your rate, depending on the term of the loan, you could get it'll just be a really cheap mortgage note that you'll end up paying every month. But you'll still have that cash on hand. You'll have 75K in the bank, and then you're just
Mm.
paying, whatever. Or if you have renters in the property, that's even better because they'll pay it and you still have your 75K in the bank. So
Definitely.
yeah.
So like when you said like you would try to convince somebody to change their rate, is that basically it's kind of like them borrowing their own money and then y'all supplying it and just putting y'all interest on top of it? Is that the best way to break it down? Like, or
Pretty much.
is it, or is it
So
more to it?
there are different avenues of financing.
Mm-hmm.
So with these different avenues, I mean, it's like different avenues to all get to the same outcome, but there's different ways that you can go about. So let's say, for example, you have a retail lender. I've worked at retail lenders. I've worked at Freedom Mortgage. I worked at Quicken Loans. With the retail lender, it's you yourself as the client coming directly to us to get money. That would be like a retail client to um, client to business interaction. Then you have your wholesale aspect, which is broker to like a main bank. So let's say, for example, me working with like Quicken Loans on the back end or something like that to get home loans approved for my clients. And then you have the direct lenders. So what I do is more so direct lending. That means that I have a line of credit that I'm able to lend out to get your loan approved. I have my own underwriters. I have my own everything. Direct lending is really, honestly, in my opinion, it's the best option because there aren't a bunch of hands in the pot.
Okay.
It's straight like, this is our money. This is what we can do. This, and we get it done just like that. When you go to like a retail lender or a broker will take your information and shop it around. They can shop it around with different banks or multiple institutes to try to get you the best deal. But sometimes they still don't get you the best deal. And then you have retail, which is always pretty much going to be your most expensive option because it's a company. Like, they want to make their money. So they're going to charge you the most. But that pretty much sums it up. You have to, of course, go through like underwriting and different things like that, different stipulations. Each company has their own set of guidelines. Sometimes they're called overlays. So what you might be able to do at one company, you might not be able to do at another company. That's why when it comes to direct lending, that also is better because there's less stipulations. Like, it's more so just based off of the federal guidelines versus them adding more stuff on top of it.
Okay, so when people come to you to try to get a loan, is that like your risk if you know, like saying, okay, I'm a mess with you on this money and I'm a take, you know, all your information and forward it to my underwriter? Is that like you taking a risk per se, or is that still like a company taking a risk?
So we still work under a company. We're just direct lending, which means we have our access, that we have direct access to our own funds. That's what makes it better because like our wiring, everything is quicker than if you went to like a larger company or anything like that. Yeah. So we still assess risk. That's what the underwriters are for. Like, they're going to make sure they look at everything, like, and clear the stipulations and make sure everything looks right. So, and essentially, we're not just going to lend on anything, but at the same time, we do give you the best deal possible for the simple fact that we control a lot more, like, of our margins, how much we can take off, what we can give, and different things like that. So that would be like the difference.
Okay. And like, what is some advice if somebody wanted to, like, they wanted to get approved for a crib? Like, what's the biggest factor that you've seen?
Some important ones. I'm gonna go over the important ones. I need you to have a steady income, a job, a job. Most people don't think like, oh, like, yeah, I worked here for a year and then I quit and then I picked up another job like 3 years later. No, I need 2 years stable income. Now, you can have little gaps here and there of like 6 weeks, sometimes 6 months, just depending on the program. But have a job, please, for goodness sakes, and at least be there for 2 years. And if not at the same place for 2 years, in the same line of work for at least 2 years consecutively. So have a job, credit. I cannot stress this enough. Yeah. And one thing that I'm really big on, because like being in this industry, I'm very, very passionate about people becoming homeowners. Like, my mom didn't own a home until she was 48 years old. I helped my mom purchase her first home. Like, home ownership in minority communities is huge to me, and that's why I'm so passionate about what I do. So even if you come to me and you have a low credit score of 580 or 540, whatever, even if you have that, I would still want to work with you because I'm currently like looking for credit repair experts and different things like that. Like we're going to get you in a home. My end goal, like I'm not the type of person that just, I got to close the deal. I got to close the deal. Like I'll work with you till we can close that deal. But it's important for me to just get people into houses like that. That is my passion. So at least I would say people say 620. I'm going to say 640. 640 and above is kind of where you want to be at. The way loans are priced, it goes by tiering. So the better your credit is, the better pricing you're going to get. But 640 and above is preferable. Last but not least, because this is so important, paper trails.
Yeah. The underwriter, they don't miss.
They don't miss. I need y'all, and I'm begging y'all. I can't do nothing with no mattress money. It's great that you have $1 million under your mattress, but I cannot do anything with that. When you get some money, put it in the bank account. Let it season. It needs to sit there. Okay? It needs to be in there. Okay? Let it be in there. I can't do nothing with mattress money. I need a paper trail. And people need to realize that. Have some money. You got to have some money. At least I would say it don't even have to be an outrageous amount, but if you can save up at least, I would say between $5,000 to $8,000, which I don't feel like is unattainable. It's really just all about how determined you are to own a home. Have some assets, but really have a paper trail for those assets. That's important.
Yeah, I went through that when I bought my house. You know, it was my first time. Nobody hand walked me. Like I read a book on how to buy a house. I said, I'm gonna go buy a house. They fucking went through all my bank statements. They was harassing me about my tax money. I'm like, bro, that's tax money, bro. Like that's from the IRS. Like what the fuck? He was like, we need a copy or printout. Like luckily I had a screenshot before they actually sent it to me, but it was crazy. Like if it could be $500, they want to know where does $500 come from?
Where did it come from?
I'm like, bro, that's $500, bro. We being petty.
It's a headache. That's why I tell people like, don't make no dumb, large, crazy ass deposit while we're doing this. Please don't. Because it's gonna just make everything bad. Like, don't.
Yeah, they gonna want to know every dollar, and don't even try to come if you ain't got no job. That shit is over. It's over.
Please don't. Right? It's not funny because like people legitimately don't know, right? People don't buy homes every day, so they really don't know. But like on the inside, I just scream because it's like, what the hell? Did you think what's gonna happen? Like you thought you was about to buy a house, but you don't have a job. Okay.
Is it harder for the self-employed, like for all my entrepreneurs out there who cut grass and they make thousands of dollars every day? Like
this is important.
Okay.
This is very important. If you are an entrepreneur, there is nothing wrong with you wanting to write off whatever you invested, whatever the case may be. That's cool. That's fine and dandy. However, for the first 2 years of your business, I need you to just pay the government what you owe them. Don't write off a bunch of stuff. For real, don't write off a bunch of stuff because you will dig yourself into a hole to the point where you look poor on paper when you really got money.
Shit.
Yeah,
I know that.
You will write off everything, and on paper, you will literally, like, I have sat there with people. I'm about to tell a story because this is very funny. There was a lady. This lady had money. It was not there was no question that she had bank. She had money. The name of this lady's business was Write Offs LLC.
Oh, she acting bad.
And she had bread, right?
Okay.
I'm like, I need your personal tax returns, business returns. I'm gonna do what I can to get you qualified. Whoop, whoop, whoop. went through the ringer with her.
Mm-hmm.
Read her tax forms, put everything in the system, ran it through the underwriting system. This lady had a debt to income ratio of 128%. Why? Because she owned Write-Offs LLC and she wrote everything off. So I had actually had to call and deny this lady probably 5 times before she finally was like, okay, like, because she was cursing me out. She just simply would not let me deny her because she had money. Which, yeah, you do have money, but on paper, you try to make yourself look poor so you don't have to pay nobody no taxes. That's okay, but do that on your own time because I can't do nothing for you. I can't do anything for you. So as a business owner, first 2 years of your business, if you want to purchase a home after that or whatever the case may be, whenever you're looking to do anything to where you need to qualify for something, on paper, you need to look like you have money. So be okay taking those losses, having to pay that $10,000 or $12,000 in taxes that you would have to pay for that year. That is very important because you will dig yourself in a hole.
So she was writing off so much that her debt to income ratio was thrown off. And for the people who don't know what debt to income ratio is, basically on paper, if it look like you got car payments or whatever, you just owe a bunch of people money and then your income come in and it's like negative, right? So every month it look like you losing $500. They gonna say your debt to income ratio is off. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep. It's the amount of debt that you have every month versus the amount of money that you have coming in every month. Mm-hmm. And you have to be under like 50%.
50% to get approved, like by most banks or by you?
By most, well, that's like federal guidelines, 50% all across the board. Some people will go lower than that. Some people will do like 47%. At a point, it was 43%. And it also depends on the loan programs. You have several different loan options. But just a general rule of thumb, you want to be under 50%.
Okay. My next question is, what is one myth about like the banking industry or getting a home or anything that you want to like just put to rest right now? Like what you want to talk about as far as like all these rumors about owning a home and this, that, and the third?
The biggest myth, and this is like, I argue with people all day long about this, so I'm happy that you asked this question. Just because I am not decreasing your interest rate by a full point does not mean that it does not make sense for you to refinance. If I drop your interest rate by 1/8 of a point, 1/4 of a point, whatever the case may be, if I'm decreasing your interest rate, it makes sense.
Yeah,
people have this assumption that if I go ahead and refinance my home loan, I should save over $200 a month, or I should save a buku amount of money. But at the same time, if I'm refinancing you and I'm telling you all I can do is save you $50 a month, that still makes sense, because at the end of the day, if I were to send you a check for $50 a month in the mail every month, you're not gonna shred it.
Yeah, you're gonna take that 50.
You're gonna take it. You're gonna go out to eat. You're gonna go to the movies, whatever the case may be. So stop thinking that because you are not saving a buku amount of money. I've refinanced people and I gave them $14 a month, but I've saved them $17,000 and $18,000 and $20,000 in interest over the life of the loan. Like, think long term. Even if you took that same $50 a month and put it in an investment account, invested it into something, did something with it, put in a savings account, that's still $50 more than what you currently have.
Yes.
So stop thinking that because somebody is not coming through saving you $4,000 a month, it doesn't make sense. Whatever is less than what you're paying right now makes sense. It's math. It's simple math. Like,
yeah, for real.
People don't get that. They look at it and like, I'm not going through all this just to save this. Well, if you look on it, like, the grand scheme of things, you're saving $30,000 extra or whatever the case may be. Like, that makes sense. So that would be my thing.
And can you like touch on a streamline refinance? Because that's what happened with me. Like when I first got my crib, my credit was low. They only probably accepted me because I'm in the military. I use my VA loan, so they was like, "This free money." But
That's
I
crazy.
came in at 4.75, like high as fuck. But I just wanted a crib. I just wanted to do like real estate and be a landlord, and my
Mhm.
numbers still added up, and I'll still make it profit. But without that streamline refinance, like it was tight. Like I was making like $200, and then now I make like 400 a month off my crib. So yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah. So I actually used to only specialize in refinance or sorry, refinancing streamlines for the past 8 months. That's literally all I did was just all streamline work. Pretty much what a streamline is you have to have either a VA or FHA loan.
Okay.
And it allows us to pretty much refinance you, get you a lower interest rate, a lower monthly payment with like in some cases is like little to no cost. But it's pretty much we call them no doc loans. So it's not a bunch of verification that you have to go through in order to get them done. It's literally
Mm,
like in some cases for like FHA, all you have to do is send over a utility bill. Some cases in VA, you don't have to send over literally anything. You're just signing documents and it's done. Um, but FHA and VA streamlines are definitely those are breadwinners. And then right now, they did recently, like not too long ago, they changed guidelines. So like if you have an FHA loan, FHA loans are specifically for primary residences. So like that has to be the home that you live in. If
mm,
you are able right now though, to do an streamline and it be an investment property. A streamline is going to be the lowest interest rate you're ever going to get on an investment property ever. Don't ever let nobody tell you different. I don't care if they talk about conventional anything.
mm,
No. Streamline on investments, that's the ultimate way to go. If you can do that, then you're in the money. But like that's gonna always be the lowest option for you as far as rates go. So
okay.
yeah.
And then my last topic about banking before we get into our next group of questions is well, like what's up with these rumors and this Joe Biden 25K for your first house? Like, is it any truth to this or how does this work? Like I'm ready. Like I'm trying to get in on the action.
I haven't heard too much about anything for real. I'm not gonna say I don't believe stuff until I see it. But in the mortgage industry, I kind of don't believe stuff until I see it because things change so rapidly. Now, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Tomorrow he can come out and be like, everybody get 25K. And I'd be like, well, damn, he proved me wrong.
Yeah.
But I won't read too much into it for now, at
Yeah.
least.
Even like well my thoughts on it is even if he do come out with it right and it's 25K, everybody gonna bump their price up 25K. Like that's just business in my head. Like the fucking right now
Yeah,
you can't even buy a house for real. This shit is crazy out here. Like I've been
the
looking in
market
three
is
states.
crazy. The market is crazy. Like I have honestly, I started in the industry in 2015. Um, and in 2015, that's when everybody was saying like the rates were the lowest that they had ever been in history, which was true. Like I never saw
Mhm.
2% before in my life. But then this past year with Corona and everything like that, like back in April,
Mhm.
rates were at like 1.75.
Mhm.
Mind you, 5 years ago, I was just told you'll never see an interest rate below 2.5. Like they just swore it would never happen. So, yeah, this market is crazy. The way these rates are, like, nobody can buy a house. If you want a house, you have to like put your offer in while you are still at the showing. Because these people crazy. Like you can't find. It's crazy. The industry
Yeah.
is nuts right now. It's on fire. It's like a perfect time to either be in real estate or banking for real. Because it's just a good time. Like
Yeah,
everybody
like
wants something right now.
even the like the real estate gurus or whatever, like they selling their houses right now, and just because like they pumping up the price and nobody can buy nothing, people just paying whatever for a crib.
You're
So
paying
it's like,
whatever.
all right, so done with banking. We gonna get more on a lighter note, right? We gonna talk about dating. I already sent you the list of questions. I'm gonna just start from the
Yay.
top. No, actually, I got a side question. Has anybody ever tried to shoot their shot like over the phone, like as you try to get them a mortgage rate, they like, hey, you know what? Like, can we meet at Taco, whatever, Locos Tacos, and get a margarita and shit?
I have had okay. I've been licensed in over 17 different states.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that I'm talking to on the phone, it's like some people that will be local, but there are a lot of people that will be out of state and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I've had clients, well, like to this day that I'm like super, super close with. They my friends on Facebook, like all types of stuff. But I have had a couple of male clients that either they try to talk to me and they be like, you're just so helpful, you're so knowledgeable, you just have really great energy over the phone. Like I feel like you're great for my son. Like clients definitely trying to hook me up with their kids. They'll try to fly me out. Like I'm like, yeah, you need to, now that you help me refinance, you need to come down here and have a look at me. Like it's definitely happened. It's happened for sure. But
yeah.
it is.
So like another thing, like, right, me and all my homeboys, we talk about like when are like it's always a debate, like when are women most approachable? Right. Me personally, me being married, I'm like, bro, do not approach women when they are doing something like productive, or like they gotta be on pure bullshit, like in the mall or doing something like they got no business doing, like if they trying to get an oil change, like try to assist them or some shit. Like they cannot be focused, because if a woman is at work, she's not probably gonna fuck with you. Or if she at the gym trying to better herself, she not trying to fuck with you. Like she got shit going on. So when are like you and your friends most approachable?
Honestly, I feel like I'm pretty approachable. Like that, don't approach me at the gym. I don't like that. I just don't even like the aesthetic. I'm all sweaty and shit, and I'm all I don't know. Don't do that. I go to a lot of like cigar bars and shit like that. So approaching men, one thing that I've learned, like they like to approach at like cigar bars, which is okay. Like I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. The one thing I cannot stand, and I don't know why guys' brains go to this, they think it's so clever. Like men just think they're so clever, and it just pisses me off. Don't try to talk to me about business and then divert the conversation to trying to like talk to me. I hate that. So like when people DM me, hey, I want to know about home loans, and I'm like, okay, and I give them my number. But now you texting me and you on bullshit. I thought it was money on the floor. You enticed me. And now you're not you talking to me about nothing. Get off my phone. Like that, don't do that. That drives me crazy. I hate that so much.
Hey, he came in with a solid plan. All right. He was thinking ahead.
No, they all do that though. I don't know. It's like, I don't know why all these guys' brains be like programmed exactly the same. They thought that shit was so sweet. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to get her. No, that was a fail. Like that was completely wrong. Whenever, like, the biggest thing that I will say about guys approaching women, be respectful. Mm-hmm. But like, if I'm out, I don't usually out by myself. I go out by myself a lot. But like when I am with my homegirls, it's usually about 4 or 5 of us. If you want to get somebody's attention, like, be confident, number one, wherever you approach them at. don't approach at a restaurant though. Like while people eating, don't do that. That's fucking weird.
That's fucking weird.
Don't do that. But like at a bar, we don't really go to clubs, but like at a bar, lounge, something like that, then it's okay. Hookah bar, whatever. You can come up and approach, but be very confident. Make it clear who you're trying to speak to, because guys will just come over and then it just gets fucking awkward. Yeah. Because I hang with a group of people that are very outgoing. They're very like, I'm not gonna say loud, but like they will talk. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you come over to us and you not getting your words out fast enough, we're gonna be like, "What you want?" Like, you know,
y'all ain't shit.
So just be, when you come over, be super confident, but address everybody and then let it be known who you want to speak with. Like, be like, yeah, hey, you know, I'm not trying to be rude. You know, I don't want to intrude on y'all girls' time, whatever the case may be. But just be confident and be polite and address everybody. Like if I'm sitting with my homegirls and some guy just walk up to me and I'm mid-conversation with 4 other women and he just cut me off for what I'm doing, talking to them, my friends, they're gonna say something. I'm like, okay, rudeness, like they're going to address them.
And then y'all gonna start laughing.
And then you're gonna be walking around with your head down, looking sad, looking like a lost puppy. Like, no, I don't want that for you. Like, just address everybody. Be respectful. Address everybody. Just like when you walk into somebody's house, you say hi to everybody in the house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't just walk in and not say nothing. Just address everybody. That'll like eliminate a lot of problems.
Okay, that won't get you fucking embarrassed throughout the night. Cause I already know how y'all get, bro. Hey, shit, motherfuckers get to laughing loud as hell, rude ass. They real rude, and they all get to giggling. Now you like, man, fuck all y'all. Or you gotta buy a bottle to make amends. Like, you know what? I was rude. Let me get a whole bottle of Patron. That's $300 right there. That shit go.
You gotta do something. You gotta make.
You gotta pay the tab. All right. So once you get past that point, is it like, should you try to separate the friend you want to talk to, or should you shoot your shot right there? I feel like you shouldn't try to shoot your shot, because if you say anything wrong, you stutter, it's bad. Like you might want to take the one you want away from the group, but then you look awkward, right?
Then you look awkward. So my dog is going crazy. So pretty much like, for me, I would say like, I'm not going away from my group. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just not, because in the back of my head, I'm Captain Safety too. I just always feel like, I'm not about to go at this stranger. He just came up, like, no. Yeah. But I would say if you were like, you know, hey, I like to get to know you more. I want to talk to you. Say something like that. Like, say something to like relieve my brain or something. Okay. And then I could be like, okay, well, you know what? And if you try to take me away, it won't be so crazy. Yeah. But you just have to be clear with your intentions. That's the biggest thing. A lot of men are not clear with their intentions. So you come over there and we're automatically thinking like, oh, he on some bullshit. Like he just another one of those, you know? Yeah. So just state your intentions clearly. If you want to get to know somebody, hey, I like the chance to be able to get to know you more. I like to be able to talk to you, whatever case. Woo. Okay, cool. But don't just come over there don't be weird. Just don't be weird.
Don't be fucking weird.
Don't be weird, bro. Even though I'm awkward, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very awkward. I'm awkward to a fault. But
I wouldn't say you awkward.
Ooh.
like what would you say is awkward?
Awkward in the sense that I can't talk to people that I think are really fine. Like if I think that you're so fine, I will freeze up. The same way guys like be scared to talk to women, I get scared. Like when men are too attractive to me, I be like, oh, I can't talk to him. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't do anything like that. Okay. But I feel like I'm awkward, but I'm also, even though throughout my awkwardness, I'm always myself. So it always work out for me. Like I don't ever try to be nothing that I'm not.
Yeah.
Guys, listen to that. Don't ever try to be nothing that you're not. Don't start off a way and then she end up finding out everything is completely different. Like don't introduce her to a vibe you cannot maintain. Don't do none of that weird shit. Just be yourself. The
Yeah.
person for you will naturally be attracted to you for just being yourself, like for real.
All right, so like what is the standard as far as like you and your friends, like can a dude work at McDonald's and he could be an entrepreneur on the side, or like can a dude have a regular 9 to 5 and he like, this is what I want to do. I want to retire from fucking wherever, Chase Bank as a fucking teller. Is that all right? Or
Everybody is different.
everybody's different. Can a dude be a scammer full time? Can he sell work full time? Like what are you not gonna sign up for? Or
Those things.
she said
That's
those
what I'm not
things.
No, like okay, on some real shit now. I've been here and there as far as the kind of guys that I've dated. I've dated people that probably weren't into the best things in life. I've dated people that have had businesses that literally worked 9 to 5s, created whole empires for themselves, had their own company doing great. You know what I'm saying? So I've dated on both sides of the track. The biggest thing as far as like dating goes, I don't want to just say, oh, I'll never talk to this type of person because they do this or they do that. I'm not that type of person. But it's important for me to know that you have ambition. Okay. I have to know that you are not complacent. Okay. So whether that means, I can't even say this, but like, let's say I'm talking to somebody and he do flip a couple burgers from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if he has a solid plan and he knows where he is going, you have to know. And I'm not talking about falling in love with potential and all that bullshit. Don't do that. That's stupid. No. Yeah. If he has told you, this is it, this is what I'm going to do, this is the timeline, like, this is what I need. If you could be there to support me, like, we good. Yeah. I could deal with that. It's I don't like to be sold dreams and potential. Okay. I kind of want to do this, and you see such good in a person. You hope that they do act on everything that they say they want to do, but 9 times out of 10 they're not going to. So when it comes, like, they're just not, and it's sad because I have found myself in situations where I want something more for a person than they want it for themselves. Yeah, and that's life. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But when it comes to ambition, that's the most important thing. It really doesn't matter where you are, it's where you're going. So you can't always judge a book by its cover. If somebody judged me before I got in the mortgage industry, I was a broke college student. And the highlight of my life was I needed $40 for the weekend. So if somebody was to judge me in that time of my life, then I would be fucked. So I don't feel like I should put that out on anybody else. Like, that's not fair.
Okay. So like what is like the hardest part about dating, like right now? Like what, like at our age group, like in our 20s, early 20s for you, but later 20s for me.
There is no consistency with people nowadays. Okay. And I feel like, and this is funny because I just had this conversation with a couple of my homegirls the other day. I asked them, I'm like, is it harder for us to date because of the things that we do for work, because of our professions? Is it harder for us to find people? And all of them say yes, of course, because one is a financial analyst, one has her own event planning company, I'm a broker, my other friend has multiple online stores. Like, there is a lot of things that we do that do kind of make us outliers when it comes to dating. Um, so I would say the biggest thing right now though is just there's no consistency and there's no communication. Like you can think everything is straight. You can be talking to somebody, y'all can talk for 2 weeks straight, and then next thing you know, you ain't talking for the next 3 months, and they pop back up, and you starting all the way back over. Like, so that shit grinds my gears. Like, I hate it. Dating sucks. Oh God,
dating sucks. Like I was telling them, like, you know, I've been married 5 years, and you know, it's hard. It's definitely not the easiest in the world, but a lot of people don't realize, like, from just a life standpoint, it's kind of like you be at peace when you marry. Like you got your partner, y'all going through life together, and then like me, we got a son. So it's like, you know, my parents wasn't married my whole life, so but I remember vividly when everything was so happy in the house, and then like when it split, it kind of, you don't realize it when you're a kid, but when you get older, you like, damn, that shit did affect me and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
So like I'll tell people, like, of course you shouldn't stay in a relationship for kids, but at the same time, like marriage isn't about passion or nothing like that. It is truly a duty. And I read that in How to Love a Black Woman. Like, you know, like things need to be consistent. You need to tell yourself, like, this is what I'm gonna do, regardless of how I feel. I'm gonna do this every day to make sure, like, this is my relationship task. You know, and it can be looked at as a second job, but you know, being single, one, that shit expensive, and that shit is stressful as fuck. And I tell people, like, I'm not coming from a lame standpoint. Like, I definitely had some hoes for sure in my rotation, but they used to fucking stress me the fuck out. Like, you gotta take them out to keep them happy.
But take them out, keep them happy. Sound like a fucking dog. You gotta take them out, keep them happy.
Give them treats. They put you on blast. They don't give a fuck. They disrespectful. Like, they don't care.
They don't. They don't.
Like, yeah, and I feel like more people should try to get in a relationship. And if some people want to be in a relationship and they partner is open for them to have multiple partners, you can find that. Like, that shit is not hard to find. I met people in the military who like willing, like they practice polygamy and shit. Like they bring
they got unicorns, all type of wild shit.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Wild shit taking place.
Hey, especially over there in Japan, for real. Like, people go over there and find their soulmate. You see some crazy shit in this organization. But I just thought I had to touch on that. Like, you know, being single ain't, you know, gonna outweigh being married, and being married not gonna outweigh being single. It's pros and cons to both.
Yeah. It's all about that person's experience. Like, if you, it depends, because I feel like the way I envision being with somebody, I feel like, okay, we can be together. Like, let's help each other. Let's build. Let's help each other grow. Like, yes, granted, there are times where I'm not going to feel like dealing with your shit. Point blank, period. But at the end of the day, like, as long as we're working towards this together, I think a lot of people don't want to be in relationships because they don't want to have that duty. They don't want to have that obligation of having to deal with somebody when they don't feel like dealing with them. That's why people fall on oh, let's just, we talking, or we just kicking it, or we just doing this and that. Because you don't want to have no responsibility. And if that's the case, say that. Like, it's people that also don't want to have their responsibility. But I think where it gets lame at in dating, where the lameness comes in, is when people just lie and manipulate to get what they want, when really you can get what you want. It just might not be from the person you want it from. And that's where the shit gets all fucked up and lame, because it's like, damn, like, now you done manipulated, lied, and played with this person for what? Like you did all that for what? When it was somebody that would have did that without you having to do all the extra.
Yeah.
But dating is,
and I feel like with a lot of males, it's kind of like, in my head, it's free game. Like, if the minute I felt like any female I was dealing with lied to me, bro, I was like, no, fuck that. I'm lying. All right, you can lie one time. All right, I'm lying about everything. Yes, I love you. Like, it is what it is. Like, it ain't no rules.
I'm screaming. I'm lying about everything.
I feel like that's how most males think. Like, we don't really want to lie, or at least me, right? If I feel like she was honestly giving me her 100% throughout the whole relationship, and I was like, all right, I'm about to be on bullshit, I would save her from my bullshit. Like, look, just give me some space. Like, I'm not gonna text back. I'm gonna just make her hate me real quick, okay? Like, I ain't texting back. I'm not answering.
Make her hate me. I'm screaming.
You got. I don't want to deal with the awkward conversation. I was young as fuck then, but she got to bear with me. All right, I don't want to deal with the awkwardness, so I'm gonna make you hate me. But if I feel like you start lying to me, like, oh, like I'm alive for sure, no.
Yeah, guys can't take what the things that men do. Oh, if we do it, oh yeah. Y'all cannot take that. Y'all cannot take that.
You hug somebody, like, oh, my heart.
Yeah, y'all can't take that. Y'all just can't. And it's okay. Yeah. And I think it's so funny how guys be so quick to call women unstable creatures. But it's really the other way around. Like, y'all can't take nothing. We take so much. Y'all cannot take nothing.
Oh like, how dare she fucking take it back? You ain't love me for real.
That is so funny. Y'all are crazy. Men are crazy. Like, I don't even know what to do with y'all. Y'all crazy.
Yeah, I feel like we possessive. Like no matter what, if anybody had an old hoe, it could be 11 years down the line. As soon as she get pregnant, you pissed. Like, what the fuck is you doing? You don't even care about her. You don't want her no more. You just like, nah, she ain't loyal.
It's just a fact. Like, but you really did this. You wouldn't have got.
Really, you having a kid? What the fuck? You wasn't gonna wait.
That is so funny.
Yeah. I feel like we just gotta think like that at that point. But I feel like after a minute, you kind of get over it. So, are you big into that whole astrology? Like, a Pisces can't be with a Capricorn bullshit, or
I am.
Hey, we both Pisces, so we be getting that work. Oh my God, they hate us.
Man, they hate what? People hate me. I look at that shit because, okay, I ain't gonna lie. I look at it, and if I like what it say, I go with it. if I don't like what they're talking about, I'm like, oh, fuck on it. This ain't real. I close it up.
They said when a Pisces start Pisces, you better run. I was like, you know what? I can agree with that. It's like, I don't know what the fuck be going on. I don't be knowing what's going on. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm in one of my modes. It really be about goal. If I feel like I'm not at a certain point and I like map this shit out, I really get frustrated with myself, and people can't see that. Like, I'm not mad at you. I just gotta like deal with me.
Yeah, I understand that because I'm like that. I am very big, and I'm trying to get better with it, but I'm an isolator. If I'm working on some shit or I'm doing something, like, I have my blinders on, like, people, and the next thing you know, it's been 2 months and I ain't talked to nobody. And I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? It was just fucking March. Like, what's going on? Yeah, I'm like that though. Like, if I'm working on something, I just gotta, like, that's what I gotta do. Because I also feel like with Pisces, we are very creative, we are very determined, we're very driven people, but we are very aloof. Like, we can get distracted like a mother, like, all right, this span is like 3 seconds long. So when I'm focused, I'm really focused. And I think that's important. That's a big thing that I've had to deal with, like, talking to people, dating, being in relationships and different things like that. People, I don't like to have the mentality that I pick people up and then put people down and then pick them up when I'm ready for them again. I don't like feeling like that or treating people like that. But I always say, like, in a relationship, for me, the biggest thing is going to be support for me. Yeah. That's number one. Because I am poor, but at the same time, you have to understand, like, because I am building something, because I am working towards something, I'm not going to have the time. Like, that time factor is not going to always be there. Yeah. So I think that's major. Like, I don't know. That's a big thing for me. You got to just be able to just ride the highs ride the lows. Like it's gonna be there. Like on some real shit. I'm not gonna be able to. I've never been the type of girl to be under no guy 24/7.
Yeah.
Some men really like that. Some men really value that. That's so like honestly, I feel like if you don't do nothing all day, you can find you a boyfriend like this. I swear to God. I'm not like that. I'll be busy. I'm running here, I'm running there. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So it's like if you can't accept the fact that I'm trying to build some shit here, then I really like it ain't nothing for us to talk about. Like it's already dead. It's already dead for me.
All right, then we can end on a different note. Like, what is one thing you want to give to the little small fan base that I got? Like, what's your little ounce of free game that you want to give out to them? It could be about anything.
Ounce of free game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, because I feel like I know a whole lot about a whole lot. So let's see. Free game. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. Just do that shit.
Okay.
Like for real.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I had to learn. Like, it's crazy. This is probably gonna sound crazy, but most of the time, even the people that's closest to me don't even know what I'm doing. Mm. I literally take a planner, a pen, my iPad with me, and I'm always by myself majority of the time when I go out to different places or whatever. And I always take it with me everywhere I go. And I write things down. Mm-hmm. I write it down. I date it. And not everybody believes in God or whatever the case may be. I do believe in God. So I really tell God, like, this is what I want. This is how I want it. Be very specific. But write down what it is you want and don't tell everybody everything. Everybody don't need to know everything. They need to know when it's time for them to know. Because people will try to shit on you something crazy. Mm-hmm. They will tell you doing it wrong, or they'll just try to put the way they would do it on you. I don't want to hear that shit. You're not me. You're not me. The vision that I have can't be executed the way you wanted to execute it because it was never your vision in the first place. So don't tell everybody what you're doing. Just do that shit. And when the time comes, everybody will be like, oh my God, stop looking for your closest inner circle to support you first. It never happens that way. You gotta catch on fire with other people that don't even know you. People that don't even know your fucking name. They're gonna support you before your inner circle, but you cannot let that get you down. Cause you should already expect it. I'm telling you. So you should already expect it. You already know. Definitely. Whatever you want to do, the people closest to you are not going to be your biggest supporters at all. And that's okay. It's not supposed to be like that. Like,
I feel like a lot of people take it personal when they don't see their inner circle, like always rooting for them. But it's like, I feel like it should work that way because it's like, if I see your best friend supporting you, I'm like, of course they're going to say your product is the best. Versus if somebody else said, I'm like, oh, they don't even know each other, And that's just human, that's just how the brain works. Like, it's not nothing against you. Mm-mm. And then it's like, as long as you support your friends a couple times, I feel like, it shouldn't damage the friendship, versus like, I don't feel like you don't support me enough or something like, or that could be a conversation that's held, but people go on Instagram and make fucking sub this and shit like that.
I'm at the point now where I don't give a fuck who believe in me because I believe in myself. And you gotta be that crazy. I literally wake up every day and be like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I say that shit every day. Yeah. And I also follow it right up with, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm gonna be a millionaire. I say that shit every day. Yeah. If you are crazy enough, I literally, like, I could walk up to my mama right now and be like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. And she'd be like, I know. Like, that's literally all she said, because I tell her that all the time. Yeah. And I'd be like, no, you don't believe me, but it's okay. Because I said it. Like, I said it, therefore it is. And she'd be like, okay. But you have to get that comfortable and that crazy with yourself. Like, if you think that you're not dreaming big enough, then you're not dreaming big enough. It needs to be outrageous. Like, people shouldn't believe you when you walk up to them and tell them what the fuck you gonna do. They shouldn't. They should laugh at you. It should be that ridiculous. And if you crazy enough to do the shit, you gonna pull it off. Like it's gonna happen. So
exactly. But I appreciate having you on my first episode or whatever I'm gonna name this podcast. I know I'm gonna have you again on here because this the real plug on all the lending in the Detroit area for sure. And you got the underwriters in your pocket. You can come with all type of money. She gonna write it off. She know how to do all of it. She gave us a free game, so yeah, I appreciate you for coming on, bro.
Yes, no problem. Anytime. It was good.